Anytime this maniac speaks, it is a joint session. It's a joint session, it's an edible session, it's a raid the medicine cabinet for anything to dull the pain kind of night. Mostly English-sounding words semi-coherently strung together without any visible on-air defecation, a masterpiece. Sean Hannity really has a way with words, and tonight was no exception. His speech started late, and I guess they were waiting for that last coat of shellac to dry on his face, but the reviews are in, and guess what? He did great, according to Fox News anyway.
Anytime this maniac speaks, it is a joint session, joked Kimmel about Trump's congressional address. But the real question is, why did 10% of Democrats actually approve of Trump's performance? Kimmel wants to know what's wrong with these people. Trump started his speech 35 minutes late, supposedly waiting for the last coat of shellac to dry on his face. But the delay couldn't hide the fact that 52% of Americans disapprove of his presidency. Stay tuned as we break down how Kimmel roasted Captain Bone Spurs, while Fox News called the same speech a masterpiece.
Fifth time Trump has addressed Congress, and he got quite an introduction from the Sergeant-at-Arms.
Mr. Speaker! Members of Congress, please welcome Diaper Donnie, General von Schützenpants, Putin's boy pucket, His Flatulency, the President of the United States, Donald Jellybelly Trump.
Members of the Trump family were there. Eric was there, Laura, Don Jr., Jared, Ivanka, even Melania showed up. So the Democrats weren't the only people who hate him there.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Did you notice Trump needed a whole convoy of lies just to make it through one speech? Let's break down this comedy special. While Trump was busy thumping his chest about how our momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, Jimmy Kimmel was quick to point out that reality tells a completely different story. The economic indicators Trump conveniently ignored paint a much bleaker picture. The stock market's down, consumer confidence is down, the dollar is down. In fact, Kimmel highlighted that the Dow had taken a nosedive of 1,300 points in just the 2 days before Trump's address. Talk about terrible timing for someone trying to brag about economic success. But timing has never been Trump's strong suit, has it? The contrast between Trump's fantasy economics and actual market performance couldn't be more stark.
Trump went into the speech tonight with a negative approval rating, which is rare for a new president. According to a new poll from CNN, 52% of Americans do not approve of the way Trump is handling his job as president. It's like we remarried an ex-husband and now we're like, oh, right, he cheats and steals and farts and snores all the time. Many of the president's closest allies were at the address tonight. Disapprove of Trump. 90% of Republicans approve. First of all, who are these crazy 10% of Democrats who approve of what he's doing? And who are these crazy 90% of Republicans who approve of what he's doing?
According to Kimmel, the only things that are high are egg prices and Elon Musk. And speaking of Musk, the billionaire was actually sitting there in Congress during the address, earning himself Kimmel's title of America's highest-ranking Dogebag. Nothing says I'm serious about the economy like having your favorite Twitter buddy in the audience nodding along to every economic fiction. But the real kicker in Trump's economic master plan is his implementation of a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico. Kimmel pointed out that these tariffs are projected to raise food costs for everyday Americans and could potentially increase the price of a new car by an average of $122,000. Yes, you read that right, $122,000. That's not a typo, that's Trump economics.
And Trump said our momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back. And not the gay kind either, the regular pride. What he's talking about, I have no idea. The stock market's down, consumer confidence is down. I'm sorry to announce, Trump spoke. He laid out his MAG agenda for the next 4 years. They include wildly unpopular tariffs, abandoning our allies, buddying up to Russia, tax cuts for the rich, and turning Gaza into Atlantic City. Now, the only things that are high are egg prices and Elon Musk. Look at, there's Elon looking for people to cut loose. It would be really funny if he fired Trump just one day.
Kimmel brilliantly decoded Trump's strategy, joking that these tariffs are actually Trump playing 4D chess. Because if you can't afford a car, you can't complain about the price of gas. That's some galaxy brain thinking right there. Make everything so unaffordable that people stop noticing how expensive individual items are. Problem solved. Of course, our neighbors aren't taking this lying down. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has already fired back, stating that the United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally. Imagine picking a fight with Canada. Canada, the country known worldwide for being nice. That's like getting into a heated argument with a golden retriever. The international embarrassment didn't escape Kimmel's notice. He addressed our northern neighbors directly. We don't want this either. All this time, we thought if things got real bad, we could escape to you. So much for that escape plan. Trump is burning bridges faster than he can build walls, leaving Americans with fewer and fewer places to flee when his economic fantasies inevitably crash against the rocks of reality.
Elon was in the House tonight in his official capacity as America's highest-ranking Dogebag, and these guys they're doing some job. I don't know how he gives an address like this with a straight face. It was a ridiculous speech. He talked about a guy hitting a woman in the face with a volleyball. He bragged about his $5 million immigrant gold card. He said he's put an end to transgender mice. The Dow dropped 1,300 points over the last 2 days. A dozen eggs cost more than a haircut. Planes are falling out of the sky. Canada's booing our national anthem. Trump just waddles up to the podium to announce that America is great again.
What's particularly remarkable about Trump's address is how disconnected it was from the economic anxiety regular Americans are feeling. While he was busy patting himself on the back for imaginary economic victories, real people are struggling with inflated egg prices and wondering how they'll ever afford basic necessities if these tariffs kick in. Trump's solution to economic problems seems to be creating bigger, more catastrophic economic problems. A strategy so bold it might just be stupid enough to work at destroying what's left of our economic stability. The entire spectacle led Kimmel to describe Trump's night of pomposity and circumstances as a joint session that requires edible sessions and raiding the medicine cabinet for anything to dull the pain. And honestly, that's not bad advice for anyone who had to sit through the address sober. The cognitive dissonance between Trump's rosy economic picture and the actual numbers is enough to give anyone a migraine. The contrast between late-night TV hosts couldn't be more stark. While Sean Hannity over at Fox News was gushing that Trump's speech was a masterpiece with mostly English-sounding words semi-coherently strung together without any visible on-air defecation, Jimmy Kimmel kept it brutally real. Kimmel compared listening to Trump's address to remarrying an ex-husband, only to suddenly remember he cheats and steals and farts and snores all the time. Talk about hitting the nail on the head. That's why we need Kimmel's sharp wit now more than ever. While others sugarcoat Trump's nonsense, Kimmel serves up the uncomfortable truth with a side of laughs. He even suggested viewers might need medication to cope with the speech. So next time our former president decides to bore us with another congressional address, I'm following Kimmel's advice, stocking up on anxiety meds and maybe some noise-canceling headphones. America's sanity depends on it.